I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I've been making art for as long as I can remember. I think the first type of art I started making was landscape paintings, believe it or not. I really like landscapes, and that was like the first thing I remember really painting, like formally. What I always thought I did that was cool was I always traced little parts of characters from magazines I found with tracing paper and pieced them together to make like new bodies. I thought that was unique, but my first actual like real training that I did was like take Bob Ross painting classes, and like that was really awesome. It taught me how to like mix color and how to like use a brush, and I think to this day I don't think I really learned more about how to paint necessarily in terms of how to like handle paint and how to make paint do what I wanted to than I did initially in that first class, and so I kind of carried that idea of Bob Ross's spontaneity with me, always really. So I mean, that's really how I first started to paint was doing those landscapes, and then like an early form of drafting, which was again tracing and repositioning. So the sheep is something that I've used before. In fact, this sculpture that I'm using for Return of the Gold is a same sculpture that I've used in another exhibition called Three Bags Full. However, in this show, I'm going to paint the sheep pink, a dark pink and a bright pink, and I want it to look like cotton candy. I'm going to name the sheep Almost Cotton. And sheep are known for producing wool, and obviously I think that every sheep's secret dream is to be able to grow cotton. And again, this one will look like cotton candy, so to me it's really just kind of a bad joke. Oh, the candy cocks. Yeah. So the chickens, they're these 2-foot, relatively life-sized chickens, which have these large projecting black roofing rubber-based shadows. So to me it's this like projection of a really large attitude, so this masculine front that this little cock projects to, I guess, overcompensate for its small size. And in this exhibition I'm changing their color, repainting them, so that way they reflect candy corn. And one of the companies that produces candy corns, they call them chicken feed, is the name of the candy. So I'll be painting them, yellow, orange, and white. And any audience I feel is a good audience. I don't feel necessarily that the audience I would receive, say, by doing a mural or a paste or a drawing or something like that, is any more valid than anything I would do in the gallery. It's obviously a different platform and a different mode of communication, but I still feel they're both equally valid and relevant to what I do. I guess with this particular series I'm showing, it's a handful of work that hasn't been shown together as a whole. So there's not really an overall intention behind it, other than I hope that they leave with a certain feeling of fascination and or dismay, even bewilderment maybe, might be a good adjective that I'd like people to walk away with, being bewildered. And at the same time somewhat perplexed. I think that the work, although funny and bright and superficial on some level, is also of course very beautiful, but at the same time I think there's a lot of depth to it, and it's complicated on some level, and so I hope that people I guess walk away with questions and or answers. And I know I'm being pretty vague, but but the work has a lot of undertones, and I think anyone can walk away with a personal sort of message and or idea that they want to take from it, and I like that about my work. It's open for interpretation. The funny thing about art and the future is, I guess the sky's the limit. So I hope that I can be healthy enough to be creative enough to continue to produce work that catches the eye of people like Paul's over at University of Nevada there in Reno, to keep asking me to be a part of awesome, exciting opportunities like this. And as long as there's crazy people in the world doing crazy things, inventing awesome new products and technology that's changing the way we think and behave, I'll always have something to make work about. That's about it.
This is why I'm like this. I treat these dudes just like shit.